Welcome back to the channel for another build guide. Today we are going to be going over my new favorite healing setup to date. This build will absolutely carry smaller groups like Heroic and Mythic Dungeons. It does a decent job at raid healing and requires basically no gear to get started. I'd say this has to be a top 3 contender for most overpowered healer currently in Project Ascension. Starting off, let's look at the gear I am currently using on my character. I made sure that I didn't have any items on from Heroic or Ascended raids, just gear you can easily obtain through Mythic Dungeons, Flex raids, and crafted BOEs. Starting from the top, we have Encanter's Cowl, Warp Engineer's Prismatic Chain, Pauldrons of Wild Magic, Baba's Cloak of Arcanistry, World Fire Chest Guards, Virtue Bearer's Vambraces, Prismatic Mittens of Mending, Wave Song Girdle, Devil Stitched Leggings, Sigil Laced Boots, Ring of Cryptic Dreams, Riango's Band of Ingenuity, Essence of the Martyr, Icon of the Silver Crescent, Blood Maw Magus Blade, Fell Edged Battle Axe, and Idol of the Avian Heart. Your stat priority for this build will be Spell Power, Crit Rating, Intellect, then Spirit. Gem your gear till at least 50% crit chance on Healing Touch, then start gemming with Spell Power. I will leave a link to a best-in-slot gear for this build. This list will exclude any gear from beyond Tier 4 and crafted profession BOP items. The reason being is that Flex Tier 4 is very easy at the moment, and the gear obtained from it from these raids I would say is feasible by any player at any skill level. Moving on to the build, let's go over the talent, tree, and spells. I will leave a link to this build down in the description of the video if you'd like to skip this part and move on. Starting off in the Balanced Druid tree, we take 3 points into Moonglow, 2 points into Nature's Majesty, 3 points into Nature's Grace, and 3 points into Dream State. We take Innervate here as our spell of choice. Over in Restoration, we have Healing Touch, Rebirth, and Life Loom. We take 3 points into Nature's Focus, 3 points into Naturalist, 2 points into Master Shapeshifter, 5 points into Gift of Nature, 1 point into Natural Alacrity, 2 points into Empowered Touch, 3 points into Living Seed, 1 point into Tree of Life, 3 points into Revitalize, and 1 point into Wild Growth. Moving on to the rest of the tree, we take 1 point into Disengage for some extra mobility. Over in Mage, we take Portal Mastery, Blink, Mage Armor, and 1 point into Focus Magic, and 2 points into Pyromaniac just for some extra crit and mana regen. In Paladin, we put 3 points into Holy Guidance and 1 point into Beacon of Light. Over in Priest, we grab Inner Fire, 1 point into Power Infusion, and 1 point into Pain Suppression. Over in Holy, we take Smite specifically for Leothras the Blind in Serpent Shrine Cavern, and 1 point into Guardian Spirit. To finish the tree out, we put 3 points into Raise. Over in the Enhancement Shaman, we put 3 points into Elemental Weapons. Over in Restoration, we grab Healing Stream Totem, Water Shield, and Earth Living Weapon. We put 3 points into Restorative Totems, 5 points into Purification, and 2 points into Blessing of the Eternals. The last points we put are Life Tap over here in the Warlock for our mana sustain during fights. The next biggest part of this build are the random enchants. Starting with the legendary, we use Overflow. I love this RE so much when you combine it with Beacon of Light because you can be healing up to 3 people per cast of Healing Touch. This is extremely potent inside of Mythic Dungeons and will shock you sometimes about how effective it can be. The 3 epic REs we use are Evergreen, Garden of Growth, and Focal Point. Evergreen is just there to provide a little extra free healing on the main tank, and you can let it expire for a big heal while you focus on healing other players. Garden of Growth plus Living Seed combine into an absurd amount of splash healing for your group, especially melee-heavy groups who stick close to the tank. Focal Point is there just for the 6% free crit. Can't argue with 6% free crit, am I right? The blue REs we use are 1 Celestial Focus, 3 Nature's Majesty, 3 Steady Growth, 3 Restorative Totems, and 3 Elemental Weapons. Even though we lose 9% crit from Steady Growth, in full raid buffs, I still maintain a base 50% crit chance for Healing Touch, and the 12% extra healing is massive. If you want to go more all in on the healing touch, I'd suggest taking out the 3 restorative totems RE and replace them with hasty natural alacrities. If you're in a situation where you have to spam heal the raid or tanks, with the natural alacrity REs, you can maintain that 10% extra healing buff permanently and be dumping an unreal amount of healing touches into your raid. The way I go about being most effective with this build is to focus mainly on tank healing if I'm in a raid, with a semi-decent AoE component built in to help with the raid-wide healing. If the fight allows it, have your ranged groups stack up for easier wild growth application, then keep your healing stream totem down to help stem the tide of incoming damage. Setting it up this way allows for you and your caster team to life tap a little more frequently as well. The healing from wild growth plus healing stream totem can easily break 20% of your overall healing, depending on the fight, but you are also extremely strong at keeping tanks alive. On fights that allow tanks to stack, I will put Beacon on the stronger tank, roll my Life Bloom on the weaker tank, and focus casting on the target with Life Bloom. The Beacon of Light will heal the first tank for 40% of your healing touch, the Overflow will then heal them for another 30%, and any Garden of Growth stacks that bloom on your main healing target will also heal him as well. You are essentially healing one target for 70% effectiveness and another target for 100% effectiveness before Wild Growth, Garden of Growth, or Healing Stream Totem is factored in. If you find yourself being hit too much by incoming raid damage, put Beacon on yourself instead and continue healing as normal. One more thing before closing this video out. This has been the most requested thing on my channel, so I'm finally leaving a link to my UI setup down below. It will be all the add-ons I use during my gameplay with a profile link, so you can have it set up exactly the way I do if you so choose. If you've made it this far, I want to personally thank you for watching this video. If you found this build guide helpful, please let me know down in the comments below. I will see you in the next one, guys. Bye-bye.